Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome back. This is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. I need to give a reminder out to anyone who's listening that you are doing the choosing. You get to choose what partner you keep. You get to choose what job you'll accept. You get to choose where you will live. We often go through life just waiting to be chosen. And I know that for me, I spent most of my life really on the sidelines, waiting for a partner that will come by and say, yes, I choose you. And of course, in hindsight, I was thinking that I was waiting for the right partner that would choose me. But the truth is, when I was living in complete unintentionalism, if that's a word, without intention, and just saying yes to whoever said yes to me, then how could I be so delusional to think that that would be the life partner for me? No. We are meant to decide what it is that we need to see in a life partner, what characteristics this person will have, what type of career, what type of values, what morals, what is their soul going to feel like? Then once we get clear on what that looks like, then we can proceed in life and remain open to life serving up that individual. And now we have the opportunity to say no to whatever shows up that is not that. I often speak to girlfriends, and I'm going to keep it real. It's usually always girlfriends. Not saying the men don't do this also, because yes, they do. I actually have a couple guy friends that are doing the exact same thing, but really just us as humans, we do this. We go out in the world and we know that we want to have a marriage and children by a certain age. So what we do is when we're out, we're simply looking for someone that fits that basic criteria. It's like we meet someone and we don't even know if we like them. In fact, we already like them because they are giving us attention. And then we'll say, oh, I want to be married and have 4 children by the time I'm 35. And then that person says, oh my goodness, I want to be married and have children around that same time. Then we're just off running. We're off to the races with that individual. We're thinking we found our person. We found someone who wants to do the 2 major things in life that I too want to do. So this has got to be my person. I'm going to make this work because who else out there wants to have this amount of children by this time? And then what we often find is that as we're going through our relationship, we'll find that cracks usually come up, red flags, if you will. And then you begin to try to fit or fix or mold or change the individual so that you can squeeze them so that they fit into this box. Let's get it straight. What we've done is we've waited to be chosen. This person said they wanted what we wanted on a shallow level. And then we've said yes. And now we're trying to force it to work. Instead of saying, you know what? The values are misaligned. Yes, there's alignment with you two want to be married. You two want to have 3 children. But everything else, none of the other boxes are being checked. So I'm going to say no. I'm not going to waste any more time here. I'm going to go out and intend to meet the right person, to meet my person. By saying no to what you know is not really for you, you speed up the process. right? Because usually what happens is, and I always hear this conversation with girlfriends is, and I see it because I've done it my whole life and now I've healed from it. And I know I can look at it and identify it and recognize when I see it happening in the lives of those I love. But you'll see a girlfriend who'll be dating this guy for a year and you see it's so much pain and you see it's so much work and you see that there's no chemistry really there. But you also see the desperation of this person so eagerly wanting to be married, so eagerly wanting a family, so eagerly not wanting to be alone, that they're simply settling for this other being who too possibly doesn't want to be alone at the time, but perhaps the other person is just going through the motions. At the root of it, it doesn't work. And at the root of it, what we're doing when we say in these situations is we're just spinning our wheels. We are wasting the ultimate time. When these relationships end, I always hear my girlfriends say the same thing. God, I wasted so much time. I gave that person 2 years. Now I'm 2 years older and I'm still not getting married. And I'm thinking, well, what do you think? God had been showing you all along this was not your person. But you choose to ignore the red flags. You choose to try to fix that person. You choose to try to fix you to fit that person's needs. None of it worked. It all collapsed. Why? Because it was never your person in the beginning. So of course you've wasted time, but you've never wasted time if you've learned the lesson. So the beautiful thing we can say is if we spent any extended amount of time in any situation trying to make it right when it wasn't the right person for us, if we can do this, immediately chalk it up to what it is. Thank you, God, for the lesson. I will never make that mistake again. And then if you proceed in life with the intention of really and truly never making that mistake again, when you meet someone and they show you who they are, they show you they're not your person, then if you can just say with grace, thank you, no thank you, I'm moving on to someone who is better aligned for me, then you begin to speed up the process again to meeting, to drawing in your person, the person God has for you. Remember, you choose. You are not allowing anybody else to choose for you. When we go out in life just simply looking for anyone to fill the space, anyone to spend time with us, anyone to marry us, because I know people like that have just gotten married because someone chose them, because someone said yes to them, then what you're doing is you're giving away your power. You are saying, I'm not worthy to decide. I am only worthy when someone validates me by saying yes to me. When someone picks me, then I'm validated. Well, then that other person holds all the power. You hold no power. And be careful, because when we're giving away our power this way, only pain is created, nothing great. Greatness is only created when we take back our power, when we sit in the seat of unwavering truth, when we say, I need a man that has this values, this morals, has this type of time freedom, wants this many children, you can be flexible. There is some flexibility in all of it, but for the most part, they're hitting all of your markers, all the things that you have intended, they are hitting them. Then you can say, I say yes. This is exactly the situation that I intended for my life. This is exactly the type of person that I intended that I spend my time with. Saying yes to just anything doesn't bring anything special, doesn't bring anything magical, doesn't create anything that is essentially really, truly worth our time. You think about all the relationships right now that you said yes to just because perhaps we were bored, perhaps we were lonely. How did it work out? I'll give you a second here to reflect. Are you still with him? Are you still in that situation? Does it feel great? Does it set your soul on fire? You'll know when the relationship is right when it gives you energy, not when it drains your energy. That's when you'll know. You'll know when the relationship is right when you are not compromising your truth. Are you able to speak truly and not worried that that person's going to run away? Are you able? This is funny. I saw this on Instagram the other day. This woman was saying, beautiful woman, who was saying that she would go to bed every night with makeup on because she was afraid of her boyfriend seeing her without makeup. Now, this is a gorgeous woman. And I thought, my goodness. And she recognizes, she was speaking about it in hindsight, how ridiculous it was. But I'm thinking, my goodness, if we think that we can't just be ourselves and be comfortable in who we are and that our person is not going to leave, I challenge you to do exactly that. Because don't you want to see where you're at? Now, I understand there's a courting season. And perhaps you don't want to show all your cards immediately, right? You're getting to know each other. But once, you've been spending some time together, it's okay to show him, her exactly who you are. You want to expose yourself. You want to be vulnerable because you want to see where they stand. Are you the right person for them? And we can't be afraid of losing anyone. We will never lose what is meant for us. If you show all your hands, you show the person who you are, and they leave, you can thank God in that moment because they were not the one for you. God has essentially saved you time, saved you effort, showed you now that they are not yours. And now you are free to go on and relax in the one that God will bring you. Relax knowing that you chose correctly by leaving a situation that wasn't meant for you. And now you've made space for the one who is. That is what it means to choose for yourself. No longer sitting on the sidelines for someone to choose you. I think about, myself when I was waiting to be chosen. The men that came were garbage because essentially they were reflections of me. I didn't find that I was worthy. I didn't find that I was capable to choose for myself. I thought that if I chose someone and they didn't choose me and they didn't say yes to me, then I would feel rejected and I would feel less than. But here's the thing. If I chose someone who was able to say no to me, then bravo to them because they're standing in their power. And essentially, if I'm unable to stand in my power, then of course it's a no to me because I'm not on that level. I'm not standing in my power. And when I'm not standing in my power, the only thing I can bring forth is others that are not standing in theirs. Who wants that? I desire a man who knows he's worthy, who is not saying yes to everybody, to every woman, to everything. I want a man who understands he's a God. I want a man who comes with humility, but also confidence. But in order to attract such man, I've got to be that first. And that's often where we also kind of go wrong. Not kind of, we also go wrong. We can only bring in, we can only attract onto ourselves what we are. If you don't believe you're worthy, if you deal with self-conscious issues, and I understand there's a healing process, but if you are unable to speak your truth, you can only draw in people who can meet you at the same level you are at. If you have communication issues, perhaps you're going to draw in someone who also has communication issues. it's a beautiful reminder that the world is reflecting back who we are. And if we spend time with someone who we recognize, okay, this person is living in fear in this area, this person is unable to communicate in this area, then perhaps what we're seeing in them resides in us. And that's a beautiful thing, because then we can say, I get it, God. I gotta heal that. I get it, God. I have to work on that. I have to give it to you to help me with that. And you choosing looks like everything in life. Are you going out applying for meaningless jobs that you have no intention on being powerful in? You have no intention on loving? You have no intention on growing? Are you just going out applying for roles simply because you need the money? Or are you being intentional in the positions that you are applying for? Can you say every position you have applied for is exactly what you want? Meaning, and it might not be the ultimate goal, but is it in the location that you want to be working in? Is it the type of work that you want to be doing that you feel like you can build off of? Is it with the company that is aligned with your value? That is a big thing as well. Or are you being unintentional? And as a result, betraying yourself by simply accepting anything that the hiring manager will say, okay, yes, we choose you. Step into your power. That is where all greatness begins. That is the only place greatness can come in. When we are fully, wholeheartedly, and unwavering in our power, in our true self. When we understand we choose, no one else is choosing for us. When we allow others to choose for us, they hold our power. You're far more powerful than that. Decide right now what type of job you want to have, what kind of business you want to create, what kind of partner you want to have, where you want to live. List it, write it down, get clear, and then say no to everything that is that. That is not that. That is when you will create with intention. Thank you so much for joining us. If you know anyone who needs a reminder that they too get to choose, please consider sharing this. If you haven't done so yet, please like and subscribe. Find us on YouTube or follow us along on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat again soon. Bye for now.